how it flows. Then that's where we have the 3 points: the intentional design, the subtle belief system, and the reinforcement by algorithm. Then we went ahead to discuss that you must always show up, why you should show up, the reason we should show up. There we have 3 points too. That's the influence to shape minds before the world does. Then the impact to serve a purpose beyond your profession. That we should remember that we are there to plant seeds, not just to post. Then income, gaining from whatever, leveraging on digital space to create wealth as we move ahead. Yeah. Then okay, I think that's about how what we discussed yesterday. But there are sometimes that you try to explain more into give us more insight into what um, those points are.
All right, amazing,
Thank you.
amazing. Thank you so much. Can we please appreciate Mrs. Kikelema for that amazing recap? So you were truly, truly in class, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so, so much. Okay. All right. Someone sent me a message on WhatsApp that they're having network issues. It's fine if you go in and out, but just make sure, even if you go out, if you find your way in. All right. So I am trying to get some of my slides. I don't know what's happening to this. So just give me a second. Once we start now, there is no stoppage. So let me just put this together. Then we just all right. So today our focus is on building autonomy, building your authority. I believe by now we should be used to online meeting. By now we should do online meetings. I don't think there is anybody on this call who doesn't understand the etiquette of online meetings, right? Please, Mrs. Modupe Olaoye, Israel Paul, I'm going to yank you off this meeting. I'm going to yank, right? Because by now we should understand meeting etiquette by now. This is we really need to pay attention when we are doing these things. Let's pay attention. It's very, very important, right? Part of the science that we know what is happening around us is, that ability to pay attention to things that are very important, very, very important. So I just thought to mention that it's good we pay attention. Okay. So today we are looking at digital autonomy. All right. So, building authority. I know for many of us, we already have things we're doing. And, like we said at the beginning, that yes, we know you are good at what you do. We know that, yes, you are an authority in what you do and all of that. But then, how do you turn that autonomy into authority where people know you? So today, basically, we're going to look at, yes, we have a lot of challenges because number one is night, and number two, because I know this is an adult class, right? So it's going to be participatory. And like I said, the whole essence is not just for us to say, oh, I did this thing, I was there. I would never bring people together to teach them something if that thing is not important, I will never do it. It because I have 1,001 things I should be doing right now, right? So for me to do this is because it's important, and I know it has to be important to you also. So please, let's take it like that. When I ask a question, let's make it participatory. Talk, share your experience. Tonight there will be a lot of talk points tonight. So just be ready to talk, right? Be ready to talk. So the digital age authority model, we're going to talk about that. We have a game we're going to play, then how to reframe your experience as expertise. We're going to look at some activities, then thought leadership exercise, how to build thought leadership, and then we will have the final recap for tonight. So let's delve into this. Oh, what is Okay, good. So, this the recap from last night. Remember, the commitment show up daily, even if it's imperfect. From tomorrow, July 1, we're going to be showing up daily from day one. So you have your task later tonight so that it can help you to prepare for the morning. So the task will come in the night before. So it helps you to plan for your day. So commitment show up daily, confidentiality. When we share stuff in the group, remember, don't share outside, especially except you've asked for permission. Is part of etiquette of belonging to a group. All right. And remember that if you miss a day of activities, you will get a strike. And then if you by the time you miss the third day, after the third strike, you'll be yanked off the group, and that is very critical. That's very critical. I know some people miss the class. We have pardoned you, but if you don't partake in the exercises, you are gone. There is no excuse. We only want serious people. So we want people that can commit to the process and that can say at the end of the 30 days, this is what I got, right? So remember that consistency is better than perfection. Done is better than perfect. Trust the process. Obey platform etiquette, keep your profiles clean, relevant, and then the ESCOs will be sharing with us more. I've not had time to engage them. Today was packed for me, trust me, but they will start engaging you from tomorrow, and then they'll be the ones to help us maintain all these ground rules, right? So that we can focus on the content and what we're doing, right? So I hope you still remember your own expos, Mr. Tosin Oladipo, Mrs. Victoria Samuel, Mr. Sheon Philip, Mr. Femi Folusho, and then Mrs. Bukola Fasoni. Those are your units, your cohort ESCO. So you get to know them some more. Now, I want to ask us a question. This we've entered now. Remember, once we enter, we don't enter. So now this is a challenge for you. What's one digital platform you use, but you rarely create content for, and why? Now, I want us to talk. Why, what platform do you use that you've already opened the platform, but you know that you hardly use it? So why don't you use it? So let's talk. Who is going to build the card for us? Let's talk. What is that platform you normally you've opened it, you've created your profile, but you are not using it, and why are you not using it? So let's talk. I think I'll just call people as random. Remember that if I call you, you must say something, right? If you are not saying something, that means you're not with us. Okay. Good. Do we have a volunteer? Mr. Ashai, are you saying something? Samson Amatayo, are you saying something? Oh, the network is, I can't hear you. I think the network is, so,
Oh, so what did you do?
right, who is that? Okay, I think we'll just use Google Meet for our meetings going forward. I think Zoom has a lot of, a lot of issues. All right, so, okay, so, Who is going to build the card for us? Okay, Mrs. Samuel, please go ahead, ma.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. TikTok, I I have it on my phone. I use it now and then. I try creating some content where I have difficulty. I feel the app is for the younger ones, and most of it is videos. So to stay on TikTok, you have to create video content and all that. And I didn't find that one easy. So mostly that platform, I hardly visit it, though I have it. It was once in a while.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your experience TikTok. Any other person who wants to volunteer, right? A platform that you have but you hardly use. Let me make a confession. There was a time I was trying to use Snapchat, but somehow I just couldn't flow, right? So I just had to, to get my way out of it. I was trying to use Snapchat sometime like that, right? So okay, so any other person who wants to share, any other person, what's a platform that you have but you hardly use? Any volunteer? All right. Who is Emmanuel? Who is Emmanuel? Okay, Pamela, your hand is up. So Pamela, please shoot. Please go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Good
Okay,
evening.
so is LinkedIn. I opened it while I was working in the bank. Didn't really have time
To
to update
update.
or to do anything. So by the time I got out of the bank, I now sell tomatoes and peppers. So so I don't even have time because the other social media apps are also so engaging that I barely have time to go. I don't even remember when last I updated or did anything on the app. So LinkedIn is one, and Twitter. Twitter, I've been on and off on Twitter, on and off on Twitter. So, but majorly LinkedIn.
All right. Thank you for sharing. LinkedIn, TikTok. Okay. Mrs. Kukelamo, you still want to say something? Your hand is up.
Yes, sir, I just want to share the platform I have that I don't really use. Of that YouTube and IG.
Okay.
YouTube, I'm always on YouTube watching videos. I was not like, yeah, giving some people money. I need to be making some things from this place. I also need to be making impact here too. So that's one of the reasons I'm here. Then my IG, I used it for some time. That I have a business IG account and personal. I used the business for some time and later stopped using it. But
Mm,
my personal is there, even though I don't really post like that.
mm,
They're all there, just looking at me,
mm.
occupying space.
Okay, okay, beautiful, beautiful. So I know there are some platforms we will touch in the course of this training, and I know um, um, LinkedIn will be one of them. YouTube will be one of them. So we should touch TikTok too. We should touch TikTok too, right? So, okay. So I think so that's good. Thank you so much for sharing. Right. So but one of the things we need to understand as we go on with these conversations is that in today's world, silence isn't humility. Every time we're silent, we are missing impact. So if you have value to share and you are not sharing it, someone less qualified is leading the conversation. So let that sink in a bit, right? If you have value to share and you are not sharing it, someone less qualified is leading the conversation. Someone less qualified is leading the conversation. So the question we want to ask ourselves is, um, who is leading the conversation in your industry? Very important. So let's look at the VIP authority framework, right? Because as you grow in your work, to touch your people, to impact lives, one of the things you also grow in is the ability to develop, to turn your knowledge into something that people can easily work with. And that's how we came up. At least that's one of my own strengths, right? So it's about being able to create a product out of knowledge, turn your knowledge into a product is very critical. So I call this the VIP authority framework, which has to do with visibility, influence, and profit. And one of the things that this framework teaches us is that visibility is greater than ability. It's one thing to have ability, but the person that is visible will be seen as an authority more than the person that has greater ability but is not showing up. Let me say that again. It's one thing to have ability. Yes, you can do it. But the person that shows up more and is consistent in their showing up would eventually be seen as an authority in that field, even though the person may have lesser ability. So visibility is very important. And this also teaches us that authority is not the same as popularity, right? It's You may be an authority in your field, maybe, but you are in just one corner. But the guy that is out there that is popular, people will say he's an authority, even though he doesn't know as much as you do. So, and this also teaches us that trust is built through consistency, not credentials. So we have people who have credentials. Credentials are very good. Credentials are very important. But what builds trust is not credentials. Uh, what builds trust is consistency. Is consistency. You must be consistent. You must consistently show up. That is what builds trust, right? So then another point I would like to point out why this framework is very important is that um, attention is an asset. Attention is an asset. Now, if you remember the video I shared yesterday, the social dilemma, I'm still trying to see if I can share that video with us. But if you can get it, please watch that video. I'm not sure it's on YouTube. I just had the download, So maybe what I'll do, I'll try to upload this somewhere and share the link with you. I can't upload it on YouTube, right? But I'll try to upload it somewhere and share it with you so that you can watch it. But one of the things those guys say is that when people go on social media, what you are paying for, what you are paying for is your attention. Your attention is the currency. Remember that that platform is free. And there's a saying in the world of influence that if you are using a product that is free, that means you are the product. If you are using a product and that product is free, then you are the product. You are the product. So you need to understand that. So attention is the new asset. The people with lesser skills but stronger presence are winning. The people with stronger skills, with lesser skills but with stronger presence, they are winning. And why are they winning? They are winning because they have the audacity to show up. They are winning because they have the audacity to show up. So if you are an authority in your field, you must also be seen before you can say, yes, I am commanding influence, I am commanding respect. And the truth is that, if you know how much money some of these guys make, you'll be surprised. You will be surprised if you know. And many of these guys, teenagers, all because they just show up consistently and they are cashing out, on many of these platforms just because they show up. So showing up is very important, right? So people need to see you, they trust you, they remember you. That is what this whole thing is about. So there's a question here that I want us to check, right? Who is someone you respect online? Not because they are the most talented, but because they show up with clarity and confidence. Can you try to cast your mind back, to someone that you respect so much online? Can you try to cast your mind back to that person you respect so much online? Not because they are the most talented, but because they show up with clarity, they show up with confidence. Can you try to cast your mind back? So let's talk about it. Who is that one person? Who is that one person that you think you know so online? I'm trying to remember one guy's name, one young guy, Pella. How many of us know Pella? Right. Let's talk. Let's talk. How many of us know Pella online? One small boy like that. Hello. This class
Hello,
is
sir. Hello,
okay.
sir. We are here. We are here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I've
do.
so
heard of I've heard of fella, but I don't follow you.
yeah, I'm not saying you follow it, but I'm just using that as an example, of someone that because when you look at this guy, for me, I don't see talent in what he does, right? I really can't see anything talent in what the guy does. Okay, someone said, yeah, I know Pella, I know Sheyi, the assistant. I'm not sure I know that person. Omoyemi, can you please tell us a bit about Sheyi, the assistant? Do you mind telling us a bit? Someone talked about Eric Gugua. Okay, who is the
Yes.
person? All right, please go ahead.
Sheyi the assistant is a financial expert, an advisor.
Okay,
Then Eric Gugwa talks generally about faith, life, and living, Christian standards.
okay, good, good. All right, amazing. So the part of this particular question is really that we are not really talking about the fact that that person is very good, but the fact that the person is not really talented, but because they show up. You understand what I'm saying? Not because the person is talented, but because the person shows up, right? And that's one person that I thought that we can learn from, right? These guys are not really talented. They just say all manner of rubbish, just do all manner of rubbish. But, you know, they show up with clarity, with confidence, and they keep doing their thing. Very, very important that, we are able to understand these things, right? So that is how building authority is about. So I was going to show us a short video on the power of showing up, but maybe we'll take it after the class. Let's roll on. I don't want to stop the class. So let's play a small game. So I need as many people that can unmute. I need you to unmute. So what is this? What is this game about? This game is about truth or trap. So I'm going to show you a sentence. You will tell me whether it is the truth or it is a trap. It is the truth if it is right, if it is a trap, if it is wrong. Are we ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
so,
Yes,
Yes,
all
we
right.
are ready.
So,
we are ready.
first statement, people will find me if I am good.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Okay, why is it a trap?
Because
You
even if
don't.
someone is
Trap,
good,
trap.
if the person does not, if people don't know you, they can't find you. Like they can't, if they don't know about you, they won't see you. It's the only people that are visible that can be found.
All right,
That's what I think.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for that. So let's take another one. Truth or trap?
Mm, the trap. Oh.
That's
It's
a
a
trap.
truth or
That's
trap.
a
Posting often makes me look desperate. Is it that you look very desperate when you
It's a
start
trap.
posting and posting?
It's a
Okay,
trap,
so,
actually.
so
it's
why
trap.
why why do you think it's a trap? Why do you think it's a trap?
Okay, the thought of being desperate will not make you post often, but when you post often, especially on TikTok, you actually increase your engagement, and consistency is key.
All right, consistency is key and it builds recognition. So let's note those two things. Let me go back to the first one, right? The first one says people will find me if I'm good enough. The second one says posting often makes me. So let's take the third one. If I share freely, no one will pay me. Truth or trap? Some people
Trap.
say, I don't want to just share my
Trap.
knowledge. So why is
Okay. For me, I listened to Golden Myron, and it said that when you are either teaching or you are providing a service or a product, you teach people where, why, when. But when it comes to the how, then you wait to get paid. So sharing things freely does not mean people will not pay you. It will even give them more confidence that you know
what you
about
are
what you're
saying?
talking.
Mm, amazing, amazing,
So
amazing. Right.
can
So
I
let's,
add to that?
all right, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm looking at it from another point of view though. Because
Okay.
if I share freely, no one will pay me. And I'm coming from experience. I've
Okay.
done a lot of free things to people. Now it's not difficult to price. I now struggle to collect money for job done because I just feel like, okay, it's already part of me and it's something that I do normally. So for me to now put a worth on that stuff, like to put a price tag on it, now becomes difficult. So to me, it's a trap for me.
Okay.
It's
All right.
talking about social media, not service.
No, it's fine. It's the same thing. It's the same thing actually, Mama. It's the same thing. So, and I'm going to explain. So what you need to do, sir, it's actually part of what we are doing now. You need to rebrand yourself, and that's the simple truth. And in the process of rebranding, there is no rebranding that is going to come easy. People will call you names. They will say, but boy, change is now greedy for money. He doesn't know anything more than money. It will cost you relationships. Trust me. Some people will just cut off from you like, what has this guy turned to that any small thing like this is charging us money? But what it will do for you is that it will help you to focus your attention on the people that are important. So if you don't cut yourself away from those free people, you will not attract the paying people. So what free has done is that it creates room for you to attract people into your life. So let me share with you a typical experience, and this is something very recent. I mean, recent as at 1 or 2 weeks ago. So there's someone that met me in church, and the woman said, oh, that she needed clarity on some things that I should, help her, and stuff like that. He said, since you are meeting me in church, I cannot put money on this thing. So we started the first session. So there's a framework I use on helping people to gain clarity and being able to build their product, brand. And of course, this pricing and all is also one of it. And it's a 6-session program. So I told her I will not charge her. So after the first session, the woman said, he said, Pastor, this thing is so much. He said, what is the value of this thing? When I told her the value, she was like, okay, what about since it is me, how much you like pay? I said, no, I won't tell you price. Pay what you can afford. And then the person, said, okay, I'm going to send something. And of course, she did send something, right? But what that thing has done, if I tell you the opportunities that thing has created between me and that person, the kind of opportunities that created. So sometimes people don't know the value that you have until they taste, right? But it is you. If that thing is truly valuable, and you tell them this is the cost, people will pay for it, but we'll still get there because that is actually the last class for this program. Is the last class how to create i-tickets, the i-ticket offers. Those things very, very crucial. We must all learn to create offers. And that's why I was saying yesterday that even if you are going to be preaching on your platform, if you want to make money, have another platform where you talk about business, right? So if all you want to do is to be preaching and all of that, maintain that on that platform where you are doing it, and then create your brand, create your product. Eventually, you can also make money as a preacher. You can write books. When you become an authority, people know you, then you can create a product, you can create a service that helps other people to be able to do what you do. We will still get to that. Let me not go ahead of myself. But the truth is that it is not really a trap. It helps you to build recognition and authority. The last one, I'm too old to build an online brand now. I'm too old to build an online brand now. Is that a truth or a trap? Obviously, right?
The trap.
It's a trap. Anybody can start. Anybody can start. Good. So let's run a bit. So how do you reframe experience as expertise? How do you reframe experience as expertise? So one of the things we need to do, we need to pay attention to, if you want to reframe your experience as expertise, look at your signature strengths. What are the things you do effortlessly and excellently? What you do effortlessly and excellently. One of the things that I know over time, this one, I don't need anybody to tell me, is that if you wake me up today and you say, bros, I need you to talk about so thing, so thing, so thing. Give me 30 minutes without phone, without anything, just pen and paper. I will come up with a content that can run for 2, 3 hours. Is if I have not done it before, that I said, oh, maybe I'm just bragging. But I found myself in situations where somebody will just call and say, look, guy, you need to speak for me somewhere. You need to do. I'm like, but you didn't tell me before. I say, I beg, I beg, I beg. And in that space of time between where I am and traveling down to the place I'm going to speak, maybe 30 minutes, 1 hour, I'm preparing a talk for 2 hours in less than 1 hour. And by the time I'm done, people are like, wow, guy, where did you get this thing from? Right? So it's a strength. So I always tell people I can help you to do it because I know this is something I've done for many years. So, and each one of us, you have that, what you do effortlessly and excellently, no matter how seemingly um, seemingly mundane that thing may be, you'll be surprised how many people are ready to pay you for that thing. You'll be surprised. You know, there's this program that just came on air. Was it last year? Masoyimbo. How many of us know Masoyimbo? You've heard it, right? This guy came from nowhere. You would have thought Yoruba language is not something so glamorous, you know, and all of that. But um, this guy has taken the Yoruba language to another thing altogether. And today you see a lot of celebrities want to be on that platform. So there's really nothing you know how to do that you cannot build a brand out of it if you are deliberate. If you are deliberate about it, you can build a brand out of anything. Then another thing is your pivotal moments that shaped your life, pivotal moments that shaped your life, that shaped your message. The good, the bad, the ugly. Some of us went through really ugly situations in life. I'm telling you, really ugly. Maybe you had an abusive parent, or you had an abusive relationship, you know, and stuff like that. Or you had it very good. You had very caring parents. You had parents who were always there for you, who took you to the best places, right? So the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Or you wrote an exam, you failed 3 times, and eventually you passed. That point where you pass that exam, you have a story of how I passed my exam, how I failed my exam 5 times. So all those experiences that we had that we didn't count as anything, all those experiences are shaping us to become the person that is qualified to deliver that message. It could be on your job. Like Mrs. Pamela said that she was in the bank, now she's selling pepper, right? You have a story. A lot of people are stuck in that job. They want to move out to do something that they love, but they don't know how. You have a story. How did you make that transition? That enough is enough reasons for somebody to listen to you. So you will be surprised how many people cannot wait to hear you. You have a story, right? So another thing is to look at it as a modern thought leader. You need this mindset for you to be, to turn your experience to expertise. You need the experience of a modern thought leader. The first thing is value. Think value first. Like Brother Deepa was sharing that he had an issue with charging people. See, you are giving out value, and there's this principle: give, it shall be given unto you. So when you give out value, value must come back to you. So what you have done in helping so many people is that you already have created that value chain. You've set the motion already. So what can you do then is to then begin to engage on a digital platform to create a brand where people then begin to see that, wow, this is what this guy is doing, this is what this guy can do, so by doing that, you realize that you are setting up yourself to be able, to influence even more people, to be able to influence even more people. So you go from value to humanity, and then you drive your message. Your message has to be consistent, has to be consistent. For example, there's a brand all of us know, Daystar. In every meeting, you hear people in that brand saying our vision is to raise role models. You hear it almost so often that you can even say it, that somebody who is not talking on that pulpit can say almost everything that the people who stand on the pulpit are saying. Why? Because it is consistent. Your message has to be consistent. People need to know what you stand for. They need to know why you are showing up. That's very important. They need to know why you're showing up. Right. So then one of the things we also need to emphasize under this reframing your experience as an expert is that Experience itself is not expertise until it is framed. Experience itself is not expertise until it is framed. And what does this mean? If you cannot build an image out of your experience, so if you cannot build an image, out of your experience, you will not be seen as an expert. Yes, people in your corner may know you, but you won't go beyond that corner. And that's what happens to so many people, that you have, you are so gifted, you are so talented, but very few people know that you exist, right? Because it's all in that corner. You need to be able to frame it. So part of the things we're still going to be discussing, like I said, is being able to build a framework, being able to come out of that shell, and then you begin to talk about your experience. You keep talking about it. You talk about it so well that then people say, oh, this person truly knows something. Because if I can be saying this thing for 2 years, for 3 years, for 4 years, and you keep saying it, then you truly know something. At that point, you say, oh, this guy is an expert. And you see a lot of people branding themselves. There was a time, there was this wave. I know it's still happening, where people started getting honorary doctorate degrees. I don't know if some of us are aware of that time. It was a wave. You see a lot of organizations coming to Nigeria to give people honorary doctorates because people just want to be perceived that they are an expert in what they do. They don't have the patience to go to school to go and get a PhD, but they can pay to be called a doctor. Why? Because they want to be perceived as an expert. It's perception they are selling. That's all. Perception. That's what they are selling. So another thing we need to understand is that expertise itself is not education. It's about solving relevant problems. It's about solving relevant problems. Expertise itself is not education. So you can go to school, you can have a PhD, but you may not be relevant in the lives of people. What makes us relevant is the fact that we are solving relevant problems for people. And that thing is very, very crucial, very, very important. Right. So that's one of the things that I just thought, we need to pay attention to. Right. So thank you. All right. So excuse me. Whoa, sorry, my audio went off. Right. So where was I? Okay, I was talking about expertise. Yeah. Expertise itself is not education. It's about solving relevant problems. So the question you want to ask yourself is, this thing I am doing, how relevant is it to people? So people have different areas of needs. I know many of us here, you may be familiar with the Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? The first critical need that people have is the need for survival. The need for survival. So where you are now, if you can draw a pyramid, you label it into five, you can draw it, or you can read more about the Abraham Maslow's laws. So there is the survival need. Everybody wants survival. So if you have a business around food, you have a business around money, right? You have a business that talks about how people can make money, how people can manage their money, how people can survive. You know, you would definitely sell. The second one, when people feel like, oh, now I'm okay a bit, then they start thinking of security needs. Security needs. Oh, I need to be safe. Then they start thinking of living in gated environments. So that's where real estate comes in. So you need to be able to picture what you do and see which pyramid need are you actually targeting, which pyramid. Then once people leave security, then they start looking for relationships, for connection, right? Now at that point they feel like, oh, I need to belong somewhere, and that's where relationships, marriage, and all of that, that's where it comes in. And then when people feel, oh, now I have a relationship, now I have a family, and they start thinking of, oh, what else can I live for? Then they start looking for relevance, significance, right? So, and then when people build significance, they start thinking of legacy, like, oh, okay, now I have done everything. And that's why you see some people starting NGOs, starting philanthropy organizations, and stuff like that. So as a person of influence, you need to be able to tell yourself, this is the need I am meeting. These are the people I'm meeting. And let me say this in realistically. If you can craft your message and build your expertise to cut across 3 or 4 of those levels, it will be easy for you to scale. That you can address survival, you can address security, you can address all in one message. If you find a way to present yourself, people will definitely be drawn to you because they can see that this person is touching what is very, very important to me. Right. So those are just some of the things that I feel we need to understand when it comes to reframing experience as expertise. So these are take-home questions for us, right? What a career or life moment that deeply shaped who you are. Remember, I said this. It could be good, bad, or ugly. It was bad then, it can't be bad now. You have transformed, you have grown. So, in the midst of that pain, right, that is something you can use to turn life around. And even if it's something you are still going through, the process of helping other people go through that pain would bring strength to you, will bring healing to you, and will help you to help other people also. The second one is, what skills or strengths came out of that moment? That time when it looks like you had a significant experience in your life. What skills or strengths came out of that moment that could be helpful? What skills did you build? What skills did you develop? Did you build resilience? Did you build capacity? So everything that came out of it is working to help you become a stronger, better, more refined person. And the third one is, what message can that moment help you share with the world? What message can that moment help you share with the world? What message can that moment help you share with the world? So there is always a message in your mess. There's always a message in your mess. So, and come to think of it, I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday. I have learned, I have understood that 99% of the decisions we make are emotional decisions, they are not logical. Let me say that again. 99% of the decisions we make are emotional decisions, not logical decisions. So what does that tell you is that the more emotionally appealing your message can be, the more the easier it is for you to penetrate your niche. The more emotional your message is, the easier it is for you to penetrate your niche. So you want to connect with people's emotions. Logic is good, but you don't have to always appeal to logic. Appeal to emotions. If you appeal to emotions, you will have more, you have more followers. So why do you think that when somebody comes off stage, comes to the social media to share how somebody took advantage of them, have you observed that people don't even bother to hear the whole story? They just go after that person that they feel is maltreating that person, and they begin to drag the person. And I don't know if it has happened that a lot of the time you now realize that the story that person was sharing was a made-up story, or was half truth, right? But people will not care to hear whether it was half truth or not. What mattered to them was that somebody was being maltreated, and they were not going to take it from that person, even if they did not know the entire story. And that's what happens a lot of the time. We make emotional decisions, not logical decisions. We make emotional decisions, not logical decisions. If you can cast your mind back to a lot of stories that have come up, how somebody said, oh, somebody maltreated me when I was this, when I was that, and all of that. And people were asking, are you a child? Was it, so you ask a lot of questions. By the time you begin to bust it, you realize that the person is just whipping up emotions. Or some people do that to just get relevance. If you want to understand how some of these things work, one of the books I will not recommend for you to read, right? But if you really want to build online influence, you want to understand the psychology, I will not recommend for you to read it. 48 Laws of Power. That book is a book on deception, but there are some fundamental principles of marketing in it that if you understand those laws of marketing, they will help you a great deal. I'm telling you, they will help you a great deal. But like I said, I would not recommend for you to read it. I know what it means when you say you should not do something, but if you have a matured mind to read that book, you will understand a lot about influence, about marketing, about manipulation. It's just that what you are doing is using your manipulation for a positive thing, which is not bad in itself. It's about you understanding the principle, right? Okay, somebody is asking what's the name of the book. The name of the book is The 48 Laws of Power. Yeah, 48 Laws of Power. Good. So the first thing is, what topics could you be a voice for based on what you have lived through? What topics could you be a voice for? Remember, I said people make emotional decisions. So think about it, that based on you building your influence, you want to be a voice for what? Now, I know we're still going to talk about branding tomorrow, but this is just helping us, talking. I said tomorrow, next week rather, or in next class. Eventually, we'll talk about the next class after now, right? So, this is basically helping us to see, that, I want to be known for something, so you should be able to build your brand, even if you want to sell. You're selling now. Someone talked about Myron Golden. That's one of the guys. I love that guy. And the fact that this guy is a Christian and he's unashamed, to be a Christian, so he uses biblical principles to teach success, and he does that, effortlessly. One of the things I learned about Myron Golden, he said, the best way to sell to people is by not selling to them. I'll never forget that episode. He said the best way to sell to people is by not selling to them. And what was he saying? He said, you so much build a lot of influence, people, you so much invest so much into them that even when it looks like you are now asking them to buy something, they don't see it as if they are buying something from you, right? And that's how to influence. So if you are doing direct sales, like, oh, this is my honey, this is my this, come and buy, Remember what we said yesterday. Look at what, so let me take honey as an example, right? So what do people do with honey? What can people do with honey? What can honey do for you? So all you have to do, let's assume that you want to build a brand as the number one honey merchant in the whole of Nigeria, the whole of Africa, right? You just need to keep researching on different things you can do with honey and showing us those different things. Naturally, people will be buying from you. I'm telling you, because you are not saying, hey, oh yeah, auntie, buy this one. This one is 5,000 naira. This one is 10,000 naira. This one is 50. So just keep showing them what honey can do, because why they will stay with you is the solution you are offering, right? And then if you can build an emotional story around it, you tell them, that there was a time you were suffering from diabetes, that the sugar almost killed you. That thing killed me, like, so thank God. But when I started using honey, the thing started reversing. I'm not saying you should lie, but if it's not you, you may know somebody. And of course, you can form the story because you are really talking about someone, right? So if you can definitely form the story, because that's what happens, right? I remember there's one of our leaders, Mr. Kinney, who sells plantain flour. He told me how he got into the business. I know he's not a digital person, but that story is very, very inspiring. He said they were looking for, okay, I think he had someone who was diabetic, and they were looking for healthy alternatives to eating solid, eating swallow, like we call it here in Nigeria, but they couldn't get. And all the plantain flours they got in the market were adulterated. So he said no. So he had to go into making plantain flours. And then he said for him, he ensures that they don't add anything to their own, is pure plantain, right? So that is an emotional story that will make people to want to buy that product. Why did I go into this business? I need to say it over and over and over and over and over and over again until people understand the purpose for which you're doing the business, right? So those are just guides to, building your strength and mining your story. All right, so we are going to close with this reflection. We're going to close with this reflection, but before we close, let me ask us, some questions, right? So the closing reflections: you are not too late. You are just on time with the message this generation is waiting for. So because, like we said, it's possible some people is feeling like, oh, why am I not doing this? Why have I not been doing it, since 5 years ago, 50 years ago, and all of that. But the truth is that you are not too late. You are not too late. You are just on time. So I want to give us an assignment. I'm not sure I captured it in the slides. I was working till we started this thing, right? So I want us to do something. It is basically you being able to position yourself online. Now, based on the reflections that you've written today, right? So one of the things I want us to do. Okay, thank you, Pamela. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time is now, right? So, based on the things you have written down about yourself, so I want you to create a short bio for yourself now. We are still going to refine it. Like I said, we'll talk about branding tomorrow in our next class. The next class is going to be on Saturday. Saturday, very likely in the evening also. All right. So I want you to write something down wherever you are. If you can type on your phone, fine. If you can write it down, fine. Right. So we're going to close with that. I would have loved to display it, but I wasn't able to capture it. Right. So, okay, let me see if I can share it from my notes here. Let me see. Let me see if I can share it from my note here. Screen sharing is paused. Okay. Let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see, let me see. Do, 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 do. Let me see if I can share it here. Okay, okay, good. I got this. So let me share it. I got it from another place I put it, right? So that this is what I'm trying to show us. So can you try to do this? This is a template. So write I help who? Who do you help achieve what using your method, right? So then you can put your core belief. So for example, I help professionals turn 20 years of experience into influence and income online. So I help who? Who do you help, right? What do you help them to achieve? Right? Who do you help and what do you help them to achieve? If you can put your method, if you already have your method, if not, we're still going to talk about that in the course of our interaction. So I want you to do that assignment. I'll give you like 2 or 3 minutes to do it. Then when you're done. So while you're doing that, I want to play a very short video. We need to wrap up tonight's class quickly, right? I want to show you a very, very, very short video. Okay. Um, so I'm going to share this. Why showing up matters, and I want you to listen to what the man said, in this video, right?
Woody Allen famously said 80% of success is showing up. It's a lovely line, it's a throwaway line, but it also happens to be a true line. Simply showing up matters. Well, let's drop Woody Allen for a minute and talk about the writing and drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America. In truth, it might as well be called the Constitution of Delaware as used by the rest of the United States. What am I talking about? The Constitution was drafted in the summer of 1787 in Independence Hall in Philadelphia. Because of the weather, because of various other things, there were almost never more than 30 people present in the hall at any point in time. 30 people. States could name delegations of any sizes that they wanted. New York didn't bother. They thought the whole thing was silly. Delaware had a delegation of 5 people, okay? Well, some delegations members were there a lot, some were there a little, some went home for the weekend, some went home for a month. The Delaware gang. Every day they came to work on time, they stayed late, there was no issue about it, they never missed a day from the beginning of the meeting to the end of the meeting. That is, there was a secret. Delaware people showed up. They constituted a stable group of 5 people among a group of only 30 who wrote the Constitution of the United States of America. Showing up. It's a wonderful Woody Allen line, and it's also the way the Constitution of our country was shaped. Showing up per se is a big deal, and sometimes we don't. So, silly and obvious as it may sound, please pay attention to it. It's a big, big deal.
All right, all right. So I hope somebody got the opening quote. He said 80% of everything we do is about showing up, about showing up. And he said these guys were going to write a constitution, and out of the 30 people that wrote the constitution, only 5 of them were consistent all through and they were always showing up. They came early, they stayed late until the job was done. Those 5 people, right? And that made them to be a core part of that exercise. So I want to say that as we go through these 30 days beginning tomorrow, you must show up. You must show up. Showing up itself is a big deal. Showing up itself is a big deal. You must show up. So in a couple of minutes, I'll drop the assignment for tomorrow in the chat room. So show up, do it. And this is the way we're going to do it. So whatever platform you choose, so by now you should have an idea of which of the platforms works best for you. So whatever platform you choose, it may be Facebook, it may be LinkedIn, it may be Instagram, whatever platform you choose, make sure you are consistent on that platform for the next 30 days. Showing up itself is a big deal. So be consistent on that platform for the next 30 days. That's all this requires, right? So when you post to your group, so this is the rule. I think I will share it also to the group so that we are all on the same page. When you post on social media, then you also share the link of that post, to the WhatsApp group. Then those of us in the group, let's engage that post. Your responsibility is to make sure you engage at least with 5 people. Engage at least 5 posts, meaning that if I go over anybody's post, I should not see less than 5 likes or comments. I said all 5 likes or comments. I shouldn't see less than 5 likes or comments on any post. So what we are trying to do is to make it a community so that as you're posting, somebody is engaging. So like, comment, if possible, you can also share to your friends. You can share to any WhatsApp group you belong. You can share other people's posts, but your own post, you must share your post to the group so that we know you did it. Remember, we have a rule. If you miss 3 days, you are off. So you don't want to start with the first day, right? So don't start with day one. Make sure you post, right? Make sure you do the assignments. Make sure you post. So share, and we're going to do that consistently for the next 30 days. So our next engagement from the survey of the preferred time people chose will have to be on Saturday in the evening, right? So I know that Saturday evenings I have a meeting 6 to 8, right? And that one is standard sacrosanct, right? So we might have to. So it's night class we are going to be doing this period. So don't worry, it's just for a month. It will be fine. So that means we'll be meeting from around 8 till maybe 9:30, 10 on Saturday, right? It's not going to be more than that. That will be our second class. So we're not going to have any class again this week until Saturday. So what that means is that we're going to be doing our daily posts. You're going to get the assignment for the next day in the night. You get the assignment in the night, and then you go ahead and implement it. So we want you to work at your own convenience. So that's why you will get it in the night. So day one assignment will drop any moment from now once we are done here tonight. So I want us to pay attention to it, and the things you have learned, put them into practice. Let it come, let it form part of your content creation so that you know what you're doing. And the beloved, anything?
Yeah. Oh,
Who is
sorry.
who is the beloved? Right.
Sorry, I don't know.
All right. So Where was I? Where was I? So I said, okay, you will share the link, right? Share the link with us. And then, so I was also going to say that there is nothing that says that it is only what we share or the task we give you that you should share on your platform. You can also share other things. At least some of the things you have learned right now, I will encourage that you share them on that platform, share them on the platform, so start the engagement now. One of the ways you can know, we'll still talk about those platforms in our third class. We'll talk about some of the commonly used platforms and how you can make the most of it. But one of the things I have learned is that it's good to post at least 3 or 4 times in a day. What that does for you is that it helps you to know what time your audience engage better. So, according to digital marketers, they will tell you that the best time to post is very early in the morning between 7 and 9, where people are on their way to work, they are checking their phones. The next best time to post is between 1 and 2 p.m. or 12 and 2 p.m. when people are on break, they are checking their phones. The next time to post is between 5 and 8 p.m. People are on their way home or they are already home. They are chilling for the night between 5 and 8 p.m. That is another best time to post. So I'm giving us that one for free, right? You're not paying for it. So think about the nature of your content, whatever it is you're trying to say, and then make room. So if you can then have 3 posts and post for each of those belts, you are likely going to have more engagement. Very early in the morning, what do you think your audience is doing very early in the morning? I'm already going above our syllabus, but it's fine. What do you think your audience is doing very early in the morning? So you want to post something for them early in the morning. When they are on break, what are they likely going to be thinking, talking, or doing? How are they feeling during break? So you want to post something. When they are going home, what are they likely going to want to hear on their way home after a heavy day at work, right? So those 3 time belts are some of the best times to post. Remember, between 7 and 9 a.m., between 1 and 2 p.m., and between 5 and 8 p.m., right? Good. So, on that note, we've come to the end of tonight's session. I don't know if anybody has any question or okay, let me say, what's your take home for tonight, right? What are you taking from all those conversations? I know we had a bit of breaks here and there, but it's because I was attending to a whole lot of things at the same time, but pardon me, it's part of what we do, right? So any take home for the night? What are you taking from these conversations tonight? Who wants to share? I hope people have not slept on me.
Yeah,
Israel
yeah.
Paul, Israel Paul, I've not heard your voice since we started this event yesterday. Is Israel
Oh,
on this call? Who is iPhone? Please, when we come to the class, please kindly rename yourself, use your real name so that we can take the correct attendance, right? So thank you for sharing what you do, Pamela Rain. I help promote healthy eating and living of busy individuals by sourcing and delivering fresh food items to them and their loved ones. We take care of your food needs and that of your family, home, and abroad. Well, this is good. It's long, but it's good. This can be on your profile, which is very good. Thank you so much for sharing that. I help promote healthy eating and living of busy individuals. So that means your content will revolve around all of these things. And, once you can identify who a busy individual is, then you can begin to talk about. So sometimes you will talk directly on food. Other times you talk about their lifestyle. It is still healthy eating and living, right? So Sometimes you talk directly on food. Sometimes you talk about their relationships, right? Oh, are you a busy individual? Do you know that your relationships many times affect your quality of life? You know, this is it. Of course, by the time you are ending, you still bring your food thing to it. So you can offer, one of the things you can do is to have a food solution for everything. And if you are looking for it, you will find it. Trust me, there's a food solution to every problem. Trust me, right? So because that is your brand, then you can easily build that. You know, so you keep talking about it. One of the things you will also tell people is how to recognize for people who want to send food abroad. What are the things you should send? What are the things you should not send? Was it Pamela that said she doesn't know how to use how to use YouTube? Was it, or were you the one?
No, sir, I was not the one.
Oh, okay. I think it was Adeleke. Okay, yeah. Um but do you use YouTube to promote your work?
No, I use basically IG, TikTok, Facebook, WhatsApp, and once in a while Twitter.
YouTube is a good place to go because if you are consistent, you can earn money on using YouTube. I know Facebook has started monetization too, so you can easily make money there too. But basically, it's about solving problems for people. What you sell is good. So the bulk of the people you serve will be people already in your network, but you are building relevance online by, giving value out, giving value. And then once you enter into a particular threshold, you just realize that the others will start coming in. So one of the things you should start preparing for is building a team so that you're not the one doing all of those things all by yourself, because once another thing about being an authority online, being an expert online, is that when you become visible, then the demand comes. If the demand comes and you cannot meet it, or you begin to drop the balls, then it also begins to affect your rating, right? So that also then begins to reduce people's trust in you. So you don't want that to happen to you. So you need to think holistically. If we have an extra weekend, I will be able to talk about the operational side of these things so that you don't grow, and then you are not now able to manage your business, right? So if we have an extra weekend, I will try to talk about that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Moses Chiabua, you want to say something? You raise your hand. Bro
Okay,
Moses,
good evening. Good evening, everyone.
good evening, sir.
Thanks once again for this insightful presentation. Mine is a question, by the way.
Okay.
Is a quick one. Now, for somebody that does several things, is it okay to talk about real estate today? Tomorrow you talk about financial institutions, and the next day you are talking about fruits and businesses and all of that. Does it portray you as someone that is not consistent, or
So,
what's your take on
okay.
that?
So, my take on that will be that you brand yourself with a name that captures all of those things. The first word that comes to my mind is investments. So if you brand yourself as an investment expert, all right, then you are talking about everything investment. So all those things you mentioned are all investment vehicles. So talking about real estate, talking about financial management and all of that. So they are all investment vehicles. So if those are your three core investment vehicles, you can say, I help people make right investment in one, two, three. So already you have told them these are the things I talk about. If you're thinking of investment in any of these three things, then come to me, right? So you will not say, I am a real estate expert. You would have not knocked out the other vehicles that you use. So if you want to brand yourself as an investment expert, then you have to talk about investment vehicles, which are those things you just listed out. I hope it makes sense.
Yes, it does. Thanks.
All right, good, good. Okay, so any other question, any contribution? So Inelua said, I help individuals find their true sense of identity rooted in God, enabling them to live out their prototype, causing a lifetime of impact. Mama, this thing is complex. I will tell you, this thing is complex. I help individuals find their true sense of identity rooted in God. Can we simplify this thing? Can we just simplify it? The simpler it is better. So if you say, I help individuals find their true sense of identity, even if you don't put God, right? Their true sense of identity, full stop, right? So doing that, when you simplify it, once something is complex, if I read it the first time, I cannot understand it, I will not come back, right? So that's one of the things that happens um, when people, try to do some of these things. So let's try to simplify that. It's a bit long and complex, and I may not be able to understand exactly. So you can say, I help individuals find their true sense of identity in God. You can remove the rooted. The identity in God is fine. So already putting in God means you are only doing Christian content, which is okay, right? But you are building yourself as someone who does basically Christian content, right? So when people find their identity in God, the natural thing that will come out of it is that they will live a life of impact. So you can leave it as simple as that, identity rooted in God. And that, I think that will be fine. So Lamide says, I support students in building healthy self-esteem, both at school and at home, fostering their cognitive and emotional development. Right? This is good. This is good. In building healthy self-esteem. So your target audience are students in secondary schools or the university. Um, Helping, reaching out to those two set of people may not be exactly the same. The strategy that works for secondary school students may not be the same for students in the higher institutions. So you might want to, clarify which category of students you work with. I have busy people to take care of their daily cleaning and errand activities, providing a clean atmosphere. All right. This is beautiful, the beloved, right? So the same thing we're talking about. So busy people, what issues do they have with cleaning? Do as much research as possible. If you need to use AI to help you develop some of these things, it's very easy, right? So we may have a bonus class. Maybe I'll talk about the operational side of it and how to develop content. It's actually very easy today because you now have technology, you have AI to your advantage, so you can easily develop content. It's very, very easy these days. So if we have that bonus class, I will be able to touch on those things. Yeah, this is very simple enough. I help individuals find their true sense of identity rooted in God. That makes you a Christian content creator, which is okay. So then you start thinking of what are the ways you can do this, to build authority in what you do. You can learn from other people, look at what they are doing, and see how you can be better at it, right? So I think that should be all right now. So I want to say a big thank you once again to everyone, especially those of us that took time to engage, right? So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for the session. So our next class is on branding. Let me see if I have the topic here, right? So the topic for our next class is on Um, drum rolls, where are you? Yeah, digital personal branding. So I believe that the next facilitator will talk more about how you can craft your digital voice, how you can understanding content, storytelling, and all of those things. So you're going to have it from Saturday, and then we continue with our posts again. So July 1, I believe we are all ready for what is coming. All right. So thank you so much. We'll continue the conversations and the engagement in the WhatsApp group. Thank you everyone for tonight, and have a beautiful night.